What makes the Super Bowl the biggest event on earth? Well, not quite the biggest event on earth, but one of them, certainly after the World Cup. Stay with us and we'll tell you all about it. Danny, the Super Bowl's been around for 50 years. That's almost as much as you've been around. Do you remember the first game?
Oh, do I ever? I was in college, but you're making me a little older than I am, Matthew. Thanks.
So
did you see it, Matthew? Were you born at that time?
I was born in front of a television set watching the Packers play the Chiefs. Green Bay Packers, what made them great? It was Vince Lombardi. Vince is from your neck of the woods, is he not?
That's correct. He was the great coach of the Green Bay Packers. Can I tell a Vince story?
That's why we're here, to hear Vince stories.
Vince's team shows up in Washington to play the Redskins, and in the parking lot, there's paper on the floor. And Vince turns to the other players and says, "We'll win this game. They're not prepared." Everything Lombardi did was meticulously prepared.
Vince is famous for saying, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. And he had the other great Lombardi quote is, "Fear makes cowards of us all." They won the first two Super Bowls, and then they came back later on with Brett Favre and more recently with Aaron Rodgers. Go back through some of the 50 years. The great Super Bowls in your minds, is it the Cowboys? Is it the Steelers? Is it the New England Patriots with Tom Brady? What do you think?
Of course, Matthew, I'm from New York City, so I remember when the Giants win. It hasn't been a while.
This is a team that's new to me. This is the New York Football Giants, not one of my teams. Okay, they've won 4 Super Bowls, just below Steelers, Patriots, Packers.
Right.
Yeah.
What makes the Packers, Matthew, special is that it's a public team. It's owned by the people of Green Bay. And they have a tremendous following, and there's a myth about the Green Bay Packers. And certainly Lombardi is considered to be the greatest coach of all time.
Is Belichick, going right to the monitor, Bill Belichick, coach of the New England Patriots, not the greatest? He's now played in 10 championship games. He's won 4 Super Bowls, chance to win a 5th Super Bowl, 6th even, if Brady can stay healthy. Why is he not the greatest?
Because there's not a great tradition of Patriots football. The first Super Bowl was between the National Football League and the American Football League, which had branched off from that. So there was this great rivalry, and Green Bay goes back to the original teams. The Patriots are just a spin-off from the AFL.
Oh, so this is a National League, a Football League man talking. They said of the American Football League, one of the early players said they didn't actually introduce us before the game. They just let us wander through the stands till we'd met everybody. The great Super Bowl, now I can put in a pitch for my team, Super Bowl III with Joe Namath. Is it not the greatest ever?
Because he predicted that they would win, and they did. Matthew, my question to you, is the Super Bowl only an American event?
I think it's on television in something like 137 countries around the world. It's on Armed Forces Radio. It's streamed on the internet. People in England, I've been in England during the Super Bowl weekend. They stay up until 3, 4 in the morning to watch the game. I think in Hong Kong, bars stay open all night so people can watch it.
What percentage of Americans watch the game, Matthew? Do you have an idea?
I think the question is, tell me what American who doesn't watch the game.
I think it's about 2/3 of
I think this is like the people who go to church on Easter are also the people that watch the Super Bowl.
Matthew, how much is 30 seconds of advertising in the Super Bowl?
Has to be $3-4 million.
There are shows on television which analyze the advertisements during the Super Bowl. What about halftime at the Super Bowl?
Halftime can feature anybody from Paul McCartney to Michael Jackson
to Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson with her, it was called a wardrobe malfunction, which some part of her anatomy was revealed to 85 million viewers around the world. The question I want to say to you, Danny, is the Super Bowl about money or is it about sports?
I think there's nothing called sports anymore, Matthew. It's entertainment and it's business, and companies set up their yearly advertising, starting it at the Super Bowl. It's that important.
And there are a number of companies that are just famous for advertising they advertise no other times. GoDaddy, the website company, the famous sponsor of the Super Bowl is Budweiser beer. Volkswagen is famous when their car dropped out of the tree. The morning after the Super Bowl, people review the ads more than they review the game. Is that true?
Yes, but also to say that American football is having a slight down because of the number of concussions and injuries among the players. But for the moment, it is the American sport.
You're ending us on a down note, Danny. Yes, the national, it's called the No Fun League. It's not called the National Football League, NFL. but it's an empire as much as it's a sport at this
It's
point.
huge, and the Super Bowl is the absolutely end and summit of the entire season. Who's going to win, Matthew?
I'm not in the prediction business. Let's say the best team will probably doesn't always win, but generally win. I'll give you the Patriots, but that's just off the cuff. That's all the time we have on Money in Sports. I'm your host, Matthew Stevenson.
And I'm Danny Warner.
Stay with us and another episode of What Drives Money or What Drives Sport.